cyclist for 15 years, and then last year I managed the pro cycling team NFTO. I now have my own coaching company called trainingpro.co.uk, and I coach various cyclists from sporty riders through to professionals. Here's some videos that we did recently for Merlin Cycles. We're looking at 6 key areas of cycling. We're looking at climbing, sprinting, power gaining, cornering, craftiness, and finally free speed. So, climbing. First thing is body weight. Obviously less is best, but you can't just drop a lot of weight quickly. Reducing body weight needs to be done very carefully over time and ideally with guidance from a nutritionist. So let's look at things that you can do to help in the short term. Practice. Don't avoid hills just because you don't like them. Add them in during your ride. With practice you'll definitely improve. Try different types of climbs. Short, steep power climbs might suit you rather than long, steady grinds. Hill repeats really improve climbing. Climb to the top of a hill, ride back down and climb it again. Repeat this over and over. Climbing definitely gets easier with more practice. Experiment with your gearing and experiment climbing in the saddle and out the saddle. A useful session which would help anybody would be 5 times 3 minutes at your VO2 zone on a climb. Gearing cadence. Make sure you have a decent spread of gears for the climbing that you're going to do. It might be worth having a bailout gear, maybe a 28 or a 32 cog sprocket that you can get into if the going gets tough. A rule of thumb for climbing is a high cadence will rely on your heart and lungs, a low cadence will test your muscles. In the saddle or out the saddle, that's the question. Don't get too caught up on seated or out of the saddle climbing. Climbing out of the saddle can break up prolonged seated climbs, reducing fatigue and more importantly recruiting other muscle groups. Pacing, often overlooked. Don't get carried away and go too hard too early. Steady, sustained efforts are usually the fastest up a climb. And always remember, if you go into the red, it's hard to recover on a climb. Fueling. Keep eating a small amount often and allow time for food to digest, particularly before any very hard climbs. Climbing in a group. Try and start at the front of a group and allow some slippage room to the back of the group. If you start to climb at the back of a group, you've nowhere to go except out the back. Nobody wants that. Planning. Try and look at the hill in detail. You can use Strava for this, a really good tool which will teach you how to tackle a climb. Although don't forget, bear in mind that the best Strava times were probably done with a decent tailwind. Kit. You've probably got a light bike, but what's the point in carrying unnecessary stuff like tools and lights to the top of a climb? Over the top faster. For non-climbers, try and concentrate on efficient climbing and then go as hard as you can over the top of the hill, accelerating over the false flat and getting your speed up as quickly as you can. While I personally wasn't the strongest climber, in races like the Tour of Britain I was able to stay with the pack by accelerating over the top of the climbs.